channel, where today I want to talk about my thoughts on the new Spider-Man film while I do my makeup. I have a party to go to later and the theme is purple, so I'm going to do a purple look. So it's not going to be Spider-Man themed makeup, but I am still going to discuss Spider-Man. Maybe I'll do a Spider-Man themed makeup at some point, but I'm not really sure because I'm not a big fan of cobwebs or makeup, so I don't really know how I do it. Anyway, let's get into this because I've got a lot of things to say. Just as a note, I may forget some things, so there may be some things that were in my head that I completely forgot about. I have made some notes to try and stop that from happening. They're also not in chronological order, they kind of just jump around the plot a bit. And if you haven't seen the movie, you probably won't understand what I'm talking about, and there will be a lot of spoilers, so if you want to watch it, don't watch this video first, watch the movie first, and then you can come back to this video if you want to. But let's get into some makeup. We're going to start with primer. I'm going to use my Luminous Putty Primer today. I was using another one with this, but I've lost it, so we're just using this one today. This movie, just like the first one, was such a nice breath of fresh air. I feel like superhero movies have become very samey, especially when you look at the MCU. They had a formula for a very long time. They're kind of moving away from it now, but the films that they're making aren't very good. At least in my opinion, I have not enjoyed any of the new ones. I haven't even watched that many of them. Spider-Verse is the only superhero kind of franchise that I'm interested in at all. Nothing else is interesting me. Knowing that Disney now owns the X-Men is a little bit worrying because even though the older films are not that good, they're very mediocre and they're very off the time. Aside from Logan is actually a very good standalone film. I feel like when Disney make these films, they're going to be so much worse. I don't really know what they're doing with the X-Men because again, I don't keep up with it in any sort of way. I just hope they don't do some weird things with them. I hope we get the actual characters from the comics because the X-Men, I love the X-Men. My favourite Marvel character is an X-Men. And I've gone on a tangent already, so we're going to try and get back to doing some makeup and actually sticking to my script. Like I said before, I want to do a purple makeup today, so I want to kind of do a darker purple on the inside with blended out into a lighter purple because I've been really liking the look of a dark inside with a little bit of blended on the outside. I think it just suits me really well, so I'm going to go in with this colour here from this Morphe palette. I don't really own many purple eyeshadows that I like, but I like this one, so we're going to start with that one today. And I'm going to do it with this kind of flat, fluffy brush. I really like this brush. It's really good for getting the centre of my eye. I used to use a really packed fluffy brush, but nowadays I kind of prefer this one because I can kind of get the edges a little bit more blended. I want to start out by talking about my favourite character for this movie because I feel like everyone has their own favourite characters and I really want to share what mine is. I'm definitely between two, but I'm leaning more towards one. My favourite characters were Spider-Punk and Pav. I really like both of them, but I'm leaning more towards Spider-Punk because I really liked his attitude and his energy. Kind of similar to Pav, I liked how bubbly he was, but I like punks a lot. I really thought it was fun having a very punk character, and I love Spider-Punk in the comics, so it was so cool seeing him brought to life on screen. I'm really hoping we're going to get to see his universe in the next one because obviously Gwen has been hanging out there quite a lot, so it'll be really interesting to see what his universe looks like, especially seeing as he changed colours a lot in the movie. Like when he's neutral, he's kind of grey in the background. When he interacts with people he likes, he goes pink, which is very cute. I really like the moment where he was holding Peter's baby and he went blue to kind of like a nurturing colour. I thought that was really adorable. And it was also a really good show of his personality because he was just saying how much he liked her anti-establishment spirit, and I just thought it was really cute. I really liked that little moment there. I feel like he's going to be a really good uncle to her and I think that's very adorable. I want to see what they do with the child really. Because she's so small right now, I kind of want to see if she's going to grow up in the next one. The next film is probably going to lead directly on from this one, but it'd be very interesting to see what they do with the child if they make future movies because she's obviously going to age a lot quicker than everyone else in the movie. Like they are teenagers, they are older in this film, but a little kid ages really quick, so I want to see what they do with her. To blend out the edges, I'm going to go with my Tiny Sugar Pill palette with this colour here. Oh, I just realised that could be a Prowler look. I'm going to call this look my Prowler look now, even though that is not my intention, but at least there's a character who's purple, so I can be a purple character from Spider-Verse. I'm going to go in with this even fluffier brush. This is my favourite brush to do the edges. Moving on to my favourite scene of the movie, I'm between two on this one as well. One's a very extended scene and one's a very contained scene, so I'll talk about the contained scene first. I really enjoyed, I feel like enjoyed is the wrong word, but I don't really know the right word to say, but the scene where Gwen was talking to her father and he openly accepts her and tells her he quit his job and all that was a very powerful emotional scene. It really punches the message of the film home of like family and accepting everyone for who they are. And I also very much appreciate the trans colours they used in the background, mainly because it's a very difficult time for trans people right now all over the world, and we really need these sort of people to embrace us in our lives. I just feel like all trans people need someone like Gwen's dad to just openly embrace them and quit a job where he feels like he's not doing the right thing. That was also very important. That he was a policeman, he felt like he was doing the wrong thing, so he quit. We also need a lot more of that in the world. My second favourite scene was the extended scene where Spider-Punk shows up and you first see the Vision. Like I just mentioned, Spider-Punk is my favourite character, so it's unsurprising that he's in my favourite scene of the movie. I just really like that the first thing you hear Hobie say is he's giving advice to Miles. I know Miles takes it the wrong way, but I feel like it's a really good show of his personality, that he really wants to help people and he's kind of bubbly even if he has like a facade on all the time. I just thought it was really cute. And then moving into the Vision, I thought the Vision looked so cool, so creepy. I'm really looking forward to the next movie because I feel like they're going to lean into that creep factor a little bit more. But I really like that scene. I really like the distortion of the voices and the colours that they use, just the black and the white. I feel like it works so well and it really fit with this movie. Honestly, I was just really impressed by a lot of this movie. But that little Vision scene sticks in my mind so much. Like when I left the cinema, that was the main thing I was thinking about most definitely. Now that I've got the eyes done, I wanted to go with little circles on my cheeks in white just to pull in my outfit a little bit more because my shorts are also white. That does mean it's going to move away from the Prowler thing I just realised, but I planned this look before realising that Prowler was purple. I don't know why I forgot Prowler existed in this movie. I think it's just because it's right at the end and you don't see much of him. He's obviously going to be the start of the next movie. But yes, I'm going to stick with my original Vision and I'm going to go with white circles on my cheeks. For that, I'm just going to use my favourite eyeliner. This is Super Beauty eyeliner. I love these eyeliners. You just activate them with water and they work so well. They stay on really well actually. Even in the heat, they are a little bit runny, but I find that if you just put a lot of setting spray over the top of them, they are fine. Although you have to make sure they're dry before putting setting spray on, because the other day I put one on and I put setting spray on right after and it was running down my face. It was not a good look. I really want to talk about the Spot now because I feel like the Spot was such a perfect villain. I have never heard of the Spot. I think I mentioned before I did read Spider-Man comics when I was younger. I really like Spider-Punk comics as well. I like the Spider-Verse comics. But for some reason I've never come across the Spot. I just felt like the Spot had the perfect voice. Everyone else did such an amazing job, but his voice really stands out as the best voice for the character. It was just so interesting. I really like what he did with it. I feel like the character could have led too much into comedy or too much into dark, and he did a really good blend of it. It's a really hard character to make threatening but also really comedic at the same time, because you see him do all these comedic things, but then he's obviously a very big threat. Again, I'm going to mention the Vision that I love. The Vision bit really shows what he's capable of doing. I just thought he was such a good villain and I'm so looking forward to seeing what they do more with him, because obviously we didn't see the resolution of that and he's kind of in the background for most of the film. So I really want to see like the final battle between him and Miles and see what happens there, because I feel like it's going to be a very interesting comic battle, because we haven't had many of those recently. Most comic battles are really predictable and I feel like this one is not going to be predictable at all. I really hope it isn't anyway, so I'm really looking forward to it. I'm now going to move on to the lips. For the lips I'm going to go back in with a dark purple, but I'm going to use this brush here that's kind of like a flat, dense, kind of rounded brush. I love this brush for my lips. I always use it for my lips. Perfect lip brush if you don't use lipstick. I want to list some extra thoughts here now, just things that I think are too short to talk about in one big section, but I really want to mention. First thing is that I really hope we see Miguel's full vampire form. You only got a little taster of it. I really want to see him go full vampire because I feel like that's going to be really cool. I want to see more of Ben. I really liked how he narrated what he was doing. Like when he went into the alleyway, that bit was so funny. I really liked it. So I want to see more of him. And I am interested to see what they do with Prowler, but that moment isn't really a standout for me. It may have been because I was distracted by Noir being back. He was part of Gwen's little task force that she's putting together, and I love Noir. He was my favourite character from the first one, so I feel like I was a little bit distracted by that. That was definitely taking more of my attention than the moment between the two Mileses. I also feel like they're going to get rid of the Prowler quite quickly in the first act of the next movie, so I don't feel like they're going to do that many interesting things with him. They might, I may be wrong, but I feel like it's not really kind of a main plot line of the next film. On to the final steps of my makeup. I'm first going to set it with setting spray. This is the NYX Dewy Finish setting spray, and then I'm going to finish everything off with highlighter. This is my favourite highlighter palette. I'm going to go with my favourite colour in this. This is my skin tone one, and I've been using an eyebrow brush to do my highlighter recently because it makes perfect line for my nose and I really like it. And we're now on my closing thoughts about this movie. I preferred the first one, but I think this movie was such a strong follow-up. I don't want to say it's any worse than the first one because I don't think it is. I just have a personal preference for the original. I think personally I just prefer standalone movies, and with this being a first part, I can't say it's better than a standalone film, because if you wanted to watch this one again once the next one comes out, you're gonna have to sit there for 5 hours or something. I can't remember how long this movie was. I think it was 2 hours and a half, which I was so happy about because I feel like a lot of movies, trying to pad the runtime. This one was very dense. They used all the time really well. I really liked the length of it. Kind of feel like the next one's gonna be slightly longer. Don't know about you, but I just feel like that's gonna happen. But again, obviously I don't know anything about the next movie. I know it's gonna come out sooner than I thought it would. I thought we were gonna have another couple years gap, but apparently it's coming out next year, which is so exciting. Animated movies take a long time to make, much longer than live action movies. So it's so cool that they've done both parts really close together. I'm really excited for the next one. And yeah, I think that's it for this video. I really hope you liked the makeup look. I feel like it came out really cute and it's gonna look really nice next to all my friends and all their purple makeup. I also hope you enjoyed my thoughts on Spider-Verse. I really want to know your thoughts down below. Have you seen it? Are you gonna see it? Maybe you didn't like it. What didn't you like about it? I want to hear all that good stuff. And yeah, I'll end this video here. If you did like the video, please give it a like, comment down below what else you'd like me to do, and subscribe as I'm posting 3 videos a week for the whole of summer, and I'd love to see you again. But until then, bye!